Good evening, Dice Roll fans, and welcome back to Self-Diceolation, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign set in the world of Eberron. My name is Tom, and I'll be your Dungeon Master for this evening. Joining me tonight are some of our returning group of regular adventurers. First up, Mr. James Oakley.
Hello, I'm Oakley, and I'm playing Kallus Lanick, the human wizard.
Mr. James Harper.
Hello there, Dice Roll fans. I am Mike, your Bedrock, the Digger. Storm, Surge, Warforged Sorcerer. Jesus Christ. Every time.
It's fine. You got this. Mr. Richard Badger.
Hello, I'm Badger. I'm playing Mick Dagger, the Shifter Assassin Rogue.
And rejoining us after a brief absence, Miss Emily Westcott.
Hello. I'm Em. I'm playing Notad Dwarf de Civis, a Mark of Scribing gnome, and I can only apologise for how I probably sound this evening.
You're not well.
Sound more like Notad than anybody else.
Hello.
But thank you for dragging yourself out onto the internet, all snotty and congested. Before we get started, do we have a sponsor this week?
We certainly do.
Chief of Sponsors, Mr. Harper, take it away.
Okay. How do you feel when you touch cloth? Do you feel anticipation, excitement, urgency? Well, every one of us here at Davandi feel all of these things and more whenever we touch cloth. Whether it be wool, spider silk, or our patented glamour weave, every sheet that's touched will have a Davandi signature taste and flavor. Just don't eat our sheet. We will have you weighed, measured, and found wanting more of our garments as we give you the service you deserve. Choose our way. Choose the Hawaii pit with Davandi Fine Tailoring.
I honestly don't feel like I know what they sell coming out of that advert.
I swear I need to start proofreading these ahead of time.
Where's the fun in that?
Magnificent.
I was giggling like a schoolboy all day writing that one.
The Y pet. Amazing.
Oh, magnificent. Well, thank you to Davandi's Fine Tailoring for sponsoring this week's episode. I'm sure we'll be hearing from them again later on. So,
you can count on it.
Last time, you made your way into the wild jungles of Kubara on the way to the town of Whitecliff, where Dion had asked you to pick up a special delivery for him. On your way through the untamed lands, the Smash and Grab came under attack from a scouting party of lizard folk. After defending your travelling home and arriving at Whitecliff, you met with Eric Ironwright, the town smith in the local tavern. Eric informed you that Dion's delivery was a crate of uncut dragon shards, and that the Boromar lieutenant had put up some funds for a pleasant evening of refreshments and comfortable rooms. Enjoying the evening and promising to collect your cargo and head out the following day, Eric left you to retire whilst they secured the dragon shards at their workshop. Waking the following morning, you discovered you had been taken in your sleep into the custody of the lizard folk, who now held you on trial for the theft of the dragon shards at the accusation of their military leader, Vargak. At the advice of Irtos, your lizard folk defender, you pled for the right to investigate your accusations. Irtos confided that this trial was a farce, orchestrated by Vargak as part of a military coup to launch a war against the settlement of Whitecliff, breaking the frail truce held between the two groups. By covertly searching Vargak's dwelling, you discovered that the shards had been given to Eric in payment for weapons to supply Vargak's attempted takeover. I'm going to need to take a sip of tea because my throat's just run incredibly dry.
It's funny how the drama seemed to scale up last time. I didn't really notice it until now.
It did. Bringing both Eric and the evidence before the lizard folk leader, Queen Myrick, was enough to swing the trial in your favour and see you set free. Replacing Eric with a lizard folk shapeshifter, you stole away from Whitecliff as quickly as you could, with Mick successfully stealing the dragon shards on their way out. We pick up a few days later, after Claude has carefully navigated the Smash and Grab through the Kubaran jungle and out to the Talenta Plains. A faint trace of a road carved out by generations of wagon trains and foot traffic cuts through the seemingly endless desert and dry scrubland, which can be represented on stream in a moment. Bam! Transitions. Fortunately,
there's a delay, so...
there is a delay, so you guys
There we go.
can all be impressed 30 seconds after the fact.
Ooh.
Suspense. Ooh. Fortunately,
Yeah.
the interior of the carriage is enchanted to provide cool drafts of air as a respite against the harsh temperatures outside. The disco ball hanging from the centre of the carriage once again begins to spin. Smoke and shards of light shine out as a heavy bass beat reverberates through the living area. The sphere begins to shift and form into a rectangular frame, revealing Dion's smiling face. Well, howdy campers. Long time no speak. How are we all doing?
Well, scratch
Better
lightly at
now.
my sides and call me a fleshy. Hello, Dion.
Hello. I trust you've
Hello.
all been enjoying your little sojourn. Ah,
Kind of been stop and start, really.
well, I've got
Wait.
a special treat lined up for you.
I mean, did you hear what happened on the last mission?
Is it 100 virgins?
Oh, you know full well there aren't enough left after you've been through them.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, I have given Claude instructions to transport you to a secret location on the western side of the Ironroot Mountains to witness a halfling tradition known as the Thunder Games.
Ooh.
Now, these games are held once a year to celebrate the hatching of the newest broods of the halflings' prized livestock. Generally, this is considered a high point of their social calendar for the various ranchers, breeders, farmers, merchants of the Talenta Plains, and you have been given special permission to attend on behalf of Lady Alira Boromar. She is otherwise occupied with clan business in Sharn and cannot make the trip herself this year.
Ooh.
Now,
That is a shame.
as the Boromar representatives, you will be expected to introduce yourselves to the event organisers and take part in some of the events. In addition to this, our dear friend Castor has a special request. They would like for you to acquire at least 6 unhatched eggs from some of the aerial beasts. It's for a project he's working on. Now, how you acquire the eggs is entirely up to you, but I must stress that you are going to be recognised as representatives of the Boromar clan, so please do not cause any raucous trouble or bring any disgrace on the Boromar name as you carry out this covert mission.
Didn't
Otherwise,
realise who you were talking to, right?
I have the utmost faith in every single thing I've told you to do.
So
What if we picked a
if we
different
hide
name?
the bodies, no one will know the difference.
It's true. There can be no witnesses if the witnesses themselves are also victims, but we want to try and avoid any particular body count.
Why
Well,
don't we
that's
just
no
pick
tad
a
out then, really, isn't it?
Why don't we just pick a different name?
Well, you see, the only way that we can get you into the event is as the Boromar representatives. Otherwise, you're more likely to be immediately turned away.
Alright. On game.
Excellent. Well then, enjoy the spectacle, take part in the games, and generally have a good time as much as you can. I'll talk to you later. Ta-ta! And Dion waves through the magic mirror ball mirror, which starts to turn back into its normal, gaudy, decorative self, and just retract back up into the ceiling, leaving the music to fade out and just a sort of faint rolling disco fog along the floor. So, as the smash and grab rolls along the dusty road, you start to hear the sound of music filtering in through the windows of the carriage. As you look out, you can hear snatches of song, laughter, general smell of dried hay, and sort of earthy smell of livestock in the air.
Great, we're in country bumpkin land.
As you draw closer, you can see a settlement of sorts. Various tents, carriages, and stalls have been set up around a massive oval showground. The whole scene is an absolute hive of activity as halflings of all ages, sizes, moving through the site, chatting, laughing with one another. Occasionally you see children just scampering through the crowds. And as you watch, there are a couple of halflings in slightly brighter kind of jerkin arrangements, are sort of guiding the arriving carriages over to an area just off to the side. You see a sign on the way past that just says Cart Park. You feel the carriage come to a stop. You can hear Clod starting to shut everything down and get the carriage ready to disembark. So, over to you guys.
I'm going to turn to Kallus and go, I still think we should have killed that blacksmith.
I agree.
Or at least maimed him a bit more. I could have took his thumbs off. Then he couldn't be a blacksmith anymore.
Well, let's just hope that he met a fitting end.
I'll peek my head out the top of the carriage, see what's going on.
Okay. So, from the top of the carriage, you can see that there are a number of other sort of carriages and carts. There's like a sort of temporary kind of stable that's been set up. And there are a few more obvious halflings. They're wearing these kind of like bright orange sort of waistcoat things. And they're just moving to and forth. They're guiding traffic and they're taking horses and put them into the stables. And you can see from the arriving carriages that are parked up, there are folks disembarking. Everyone that you can see, other than yourself, appears to be halflings. This is very much a kind of monoracial setup going on. From the top of the carriage as well, you can see over to the showground. You can't make out any great detail, but from where you are, you can see the sort of the empty oval in the centre. You can hear cheering, see people milling around. On one side, on the sort of one of the longer sides of the oval, you can see a sort of raised platform with a large tent with some banners flying from it. On the opposite side to that, you can see a very large black tent. And then dotted around, you can just see other sort of smaller stalls and sort of open up travelling merchant carts. There appears to be some sort of large bird circling over the whole site. And just in front of the carriage, you can see one of the halflings in the bright waistcoat just comes up and hands Clod a piece of paper, which he looks at briefly, and then hands it. Seeing you poking your head out through the roof, just hands it up to you and just goes, flyer.
Okay. I take it and I go, "Arr!" and start reading the flyer.
And I will send you the flyer.
Lovely. Would you like me to read it aloud?
Can do.
Brought to you by the Goldreach, Greenfoot, and Plainstrider clan. Tilting trikes, clawfoot steeplechase, aerial displays, best in show. Plus the best food and drink from across the Talenta Plains. Special guest attendance by Von Fenwick's Travelling Tavern.
So for the rest of you in the carriage, I will just just drop into text channel a copy of the flyer, which is currently on the stream as well for folks to have a look at.
Way pet.
Aerial displays. They wanted the.
I sit back down in the carriage and I go, they all seem very nice, but I don't understand where the rest of them are.
What do you mean by the rest of them?
Well, they're very lacking in height. I just don't understand where the rest of them are. Do they keep it
Isn't
at home?
Daisy a halfling?
Daisy is a hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin. I'm such a racist.
You're reminded of this as Daisy emerges from her bunk and enters the centre of the carriage.
Oh, hey.
Daisy, who is incredibly quiet and is currently having their
Talk.
volume adjusted to compensate.
Oh right, I thought I was muted or something. Then I really panicked.
Mm.
No, you were just coming through incredibly quiet, and I'm aware that there is a small person child, should probably clarify that, sleeping nearby. So I've bumped your volume up.
No,
I was gonna say, I'm just like
another halfling.
you're just running some sort of specialist venue.
I'd love to say that she is asleep, but she's currently singing to her dolls.
Okay, that's not going to sound creepy if it comes through over the mic.
No, because she is not a quiet person. She is very loud.
Fair enough. I've bumped your volume up at this end a little bit so we can hear you a little bit better.
What you might hear is her scream, "How do you do?" at you.
Okay, that's fine. We can work with that. So, yes, Daisy, if you have a look in the self-isolation text channel, there is a flyer that's been handed
I've
out.
got it. I heard everything you said.
Fantastic. That
Do we
saves
need to
me a
go to
lot
the
of
travelling tavern?
I'm trying to
okay.
I'm trying to like decipher it. Is tilting trikes like jousting on motorbikes?
We
I think we should
don't know
find
yet.
out.
We haven't left the cabin.
And the clawfoot steeplechase. Steeplechase is when you
Horses
run over
normally, isn't it?
hills.
Oh. Isn't that the hurdles for horses?
I'll
like
take your word
that.
for it.
Do any of us fly? Mike, can't you fly?
Only when casting a spell.
Yeah.
I can make someone levitate if you like.
I just thought general sort of like obstacle-y course, but over like hills for some reason. That might not be accurate. I'm just going to say that now.
Oh, we best go find out.
Yes,
Is
and
it still
perhaps we
hot
can
as gold?
find.
You're non-binary, aren't you?
Mike.
Yeah. Sorry, it's been a while.
I think I run on binary, but I don't understand the question.
Doesn't matter, mate.
Haha, nerd jokes.
Cool, to the tavern.
Okay. So as you disembark from the carriage, you find that there is a sort of rough kind of flow of traffic for people to follow, and you're being guided in through the main entrance. There's more sort of official halflings, or halfling officials, I should say, as opposed to all the illegitimate and knockoff halflings that you've encountered so far.
Was it half an official?
It's not halfling. It's just two gnomes in a trench coat. So as you're following the sort of the main thoroughfare of people going in,
Been in no Tad's bedroom again.
I know. More halfling officials. They're handing out flyers and guiding people through. And as you get into the main showground, the first thing that you notice is in the very centre of the showground there is a jousting setup. So with the centre partition, whose name I've forgotten, And at either end, you can see the riders. At either end, you can see the riders with the lancers and the shields, getting ready to take turns and tilt on one another. What strikes you as immediately different to what you're expecting is that they are both mounted on Triceratops.
Ah, okay.
As you look around, you can see that there are vendors selling meats, food, fruit and veg. There appears to be a sort of very large... the black tent that you could see coming in seems to be very, very popular. You can see people wandering in and out with drinks. There is what looks to be a very large kind of like a bigger sort of food hall arrangement set up under a big long marquee. And you can now see that the raised stage with the tent with the banners on is there's 4 banners hanging up on there. There is a one that you immediately recognise as the Boromar pennant with the dragon motif on it. There is a green pennant with an emblem that looks like a set of bound wheat sheaves. There is a red pennant with what looks like a large talon in the centre of it. And there is a very elaborate blue pennant with a galleon on it, rendered in what looks like sort of gold thread, and appears to be enchanted to make it look like the galleon itself is bobbing gently on the ocean.
Awesome.
I'm hoping the Boromar clan is slightly higher than the rest of them.
Make me a perception check, please.
What have we got on perception? +4, that's 19.
Okay. Accounting for sort of relative perspective, you can tell that the blue banner with the gold galleon is ever so slightly higher than the other 3. The Boromar one is maybe a little bit higher than the remaining 2, but the blue one with the galleon on's clearly been given a slightly more preferential treatment.
Bastards. And we came all this way.
Bastard.
As we're stopped, can we get out the carriage now?
Oh, you've already disembarked from the carriage. You've walked across. You've basically walked from the car park to.
Can
sort
I
of
go up to
arena
one of
space.
these colourful officials and ask them what the flags are? Who they represent?
Yep, certainly. There is a young female halfling, blonde hair, tied back, carrying a clipboard, and immediately regards you with a certain amount of suspicion. It's like, sorry, do you have an invitation?
Do we just
Yes.
wave the thingy at them?
We're here on
Probably
behalf of the
fine.
Boromar clan.
Oh, right.
Boromar's my wife.
Oh, no, absolutely no problem. No worries, I say. Master Goldreach did explain that they would be sending some representatives for the Boromar clan. Clearly, you're not overly familiar with the arrangement here. So the 4 flags that you can see, obviously, there is the Boromar clan, who are a significant sponsor to this event. The green banner that you can see there is for the Greenfoot clan, who are our primary donors when it comes to agriculture and produce. The red banner is for the Plainstrider clan, who are one of the more famous breeders and animal handling clans. They are famed for providing the clawfoot rides for your Boromar's clawfoot outriders. And the blue flag is the Goldreach clan, the event organisers and main financial backers for this event.
What do they do?
Primarily, they are focused on mercantile and trading efforts. Elias Goldreach is their current clan leader, who will be representing the clan here today, both as the head of the clan and as the master of ceremonies for the entire event.
Ah.
I see.
And where is the rest of them?
Well, the other clan heads were not necessarily required to be here. I mean, the games do take place over a couple of days. The Plains Striders typically have made their very brief and short presentation at the opening event yesterday, and the Greenfoots as well. But the Goldreach clan will be in representation for the entire event.
I guess they would all have to be short presentations. It would only make sense.
Yes, I mean, they are notoriously brief in their speech, very much to the point, don't tend to ramble on too much.
I just have one other question, really.
Yes, by all means.
Yes, yes. Why is the Boromar clan not addressed on this invitation?
Well, the Boromars are a major financial contributor, but they don't really, help out so much with setting up and providing supplies. I mean, we're always very grateful for their support, but with the majority of their operations taking place away from the Talenta Plains, it is understandable that the 3 major halfling clans would be immediately represented. It's been this way for a while. I say
It
that
was just a question. The lady may ask why her name's not on the invitation.
Lady Alira is fully aware of the situation.
It may just be that she doesn't want it there.
Possibly.
Anyway,
Well,
I'm gonna go look around.
Excellent. You may want to go and introduce yourself to Master Goldreach. He's over on the officials' tent over there, and she points towards the raised tent with the banners.
Okay.
Perhaps I will find my answers there, and I just start making my way to start walking along to the tent with the banners.
Excellent. What are the rest of you up to? Are you all following suit, or having a bit of a wander
Yeah,
around?
I was
Yeah.
just gonna follow suit.
Same.
Is it still hot as balls here?
It is very, very, very warm. It's
My balls are always hot.
I've missed that. Yes, very much arid, desert-like conditions. There is sort of very stumpy kind of scrub grass underfoot, so as you're walking, you can still feel it kind of bend and break under there. But there's a lot of just sand and gravel kind of mixed in with that. The ground itself is quite well trodden, being that the event's been going for a day or so. But yes, very warm, very dry, very much open daylight. You can see that there's a couple of the sort of more forward-thinking halflings or those who aren't so much used to the heat. They're sort of wandering around with like little parasols just to keep themselves in the shade. But yes, Mike, as you make your way towards the officials' tents, you are stopped briefly by a couple of halfling guards in sort of fairly light-looking leather uniforms. But as they move to stop you, see the halfling that you were talking to just kind of waves to indicate to let you through, just pointing to the Boromar flag, and they kind of nod in acknowledgement. You wander up the steps. Inside of the tent, on a fairly elaborate looking, almost throne-like raised chair, you can see a very well-dressed halfling. They've got this sort of very dark, sort of kind of coat and tails arrangements, very smart pinstriped waistcoat done with little gold buttons. There's a top hat resting on the table to the side of them, and you can see they've got a little lapel pin in the shape of a galleon. Completely bald, but with piercing green eyes. Clean shaven, they've got kind of like sort of ruddiness to their cheeks and nose, and looks up to you and goes, "Ah, you must be the representatives for the Boromar. Welcome."
Hi, I'm Mike.
Welcome, Mike. I am Elias Goldrich. Pleasure to meet you.
Is anyone getting vibes of Tim Curry, or is it just me?
Is possible.
Who's that?
I think it's a popular dish, isn't it, Tim Curry?
It's a famous drag act.
Oh, tinned curry. Understand. You fleshies are so strange. Hi, I'm Mike.
I'm Notad. You probably have heard of me from Ilya, because she probably talks about me all the time.
You are friends with Lady Alira. Of course, you must be. She would not have
She's
sent
my wife.
someone. Oh. I was not aware the lady had taken a husband.
Yeah, I
Good.
don't think she's aware either, but
Maybe you are wanting to check this before announcing it so broadly.
Go with it.
I don't think the Lady Boromar will be very surprised, to be fair.
because she wants it.
Oh my god. She doesn't know it yet, but she does.
And by it, Mike, by it I mean my fleshy bit that protrudes from downstairs.
You want to get that looked at.
Right or left? I don't understand. Your legs?
Middle.
Oh.
I beg you don't ask him anymore.
We're here for the Boromars. I just turn to
Done.
the official. And I'm just like, we're here for the Boromars.
Elias has kind of registered this conversation, but sort of just shaking their head and just kind of trying desperately to move on. As the Boromar clan representatives, you will no doubt be taking part in some of the games, yes? We have, as always, the honorary spot held open for you on the Tilting Trikes event, and there is always a clawfoot standing by ready for the Boromar clan in the steeplechase.
What is a steeplechase?
The
Yes,
steeplechase.
I just say yes. I'm buying us all in. Yes, we're all in. We'll happy.
The
happy to
steeplechase. If you look outside, I believe there is one starting just now. And they point as best they can past you, considering the height difference. And you can see where the oval showground is. This is a massive space. Like it's going to take you a good 10-15 minutes to walk end to end. But you can see there is a sort of racetrack set up around the outside, and then the jousting area set up in the centre. And at the closest point to the official tent on the sort of racetrack bit, you can see there are currently set up. There are 6 racers mounted on clawfoots, which are effectively velociraptors, as portrayed in the Mummer's Tale Jurassic Park. Large enough to carry a halfling. Yep. And you can see that there are each of the races has got kind of their own livery on, so there's different colours and patterning going on between them. But the sort of saddles and barding of each of the 6 races that are on there, you can see there's 2 representing the Greenfoots, 2 representing the Plains Striders, and 2 representing the Goldreach clan with green, red, and blue accents, respectively. And there is an announcer on the sort of infield space, and you can their voice is being projected loud enough to be heard over the din of the entire event. And they announce the start of the race, and they all immediately start bolting off. As you follow them down the track, you can see that there are around the top end curve, there are 3 sets of hurdles. Long straight on the far side, and then another 3 hurdles on the returning curve coming back to the home straight. And they all immediately bomb out. Take the first set of 3. Down the long straight, take the second set of 3. And filter across the line. In a relatively close grouping, but still there's a clear leader there. And after a moment, you see the race announcer just sort of making some notes on a clipboard. And then announces, and the winner, Plains Strider Racer number 2. And you can see that the racer that came in 3rd place across the line is immediately cheering and getting congratulated by the other racers. At this point, Elias says, in case you're not aware, the race is not so much a first past the line, but a best over the jumps. So, each jump, there are 5 points available for the best clear, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. No points for the person who performs the worst on each jump. The rider who has the most points at the end of the race, they are winner.
That doesn't even make sense.
This is not a test of speed. This is a test of skill and control of the animal. The representation of the bond between rider and mount.
But
Sounds
then
like
why
something
can't
no
we
Tad would
touch
be
it?
good at.
What, mounting?
Handriding.
And chasing.
And
Hey,
I honestly thought.
I'm
it was
sort
a
of,
joke.
I'm also, yeah, I was going to say I'm halfling sort of size, so.
I mean, certainly for the more nimble of you, your gnome friend, your kind of eyes Mick up, not quite sure where you land. Your slightly feline friend here probably would be good. The rest of you maybe a bit too big for Clawfoot, but there would be place for you on tilting trikes. Yes, jousting, my favorite.
I reckon Kallus would be good at jousting.
Ah, wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful.
I feel
He does like playing with his stick. We've all been stuck in that carriage for a while.
It's none of your business.
How would I show
I,
that I'm the best?
Well, if you wish to take a go, by all means, there is open entry for members of Boromar Clan Representative Party. It is up to you. There are many rounds throughout the day, so you can take part at any point you wish whenever there is a new round starting. But we have many other things here for you to enjoy. There is a friend from Von Fenwick's Travelling Tavern. He points to the black tent across the far side. We have many of the Plains Striders' best breeders demonstrating the finest fruits of their their animals' lineages. We have wondrous bounties from the fields and farms of the Greenfoot clans. There is petting zoo for children, which if your smallest friend here, points to Notad, would like to make believe they are giant like dinosaur, oh, they can go and have a look. I know I've done it once or twice. It makes me feel funny.
Oh, Notad loves making things bigger out than they're made out to be.
Wonderful.
Ooh,
Ah.
Cat in shade.
There are many independent vendors for the foods and I would suggest that you check out the banquet tent. And points towards the sort of large white marquee set up on the far side of the arena. You can buy just bits of food here and there, but banquet tent, haha, one price, as much as you can eat. Very filling, very, very substantial. Good value for money.
And do you cater to someone of my, how would a fleshy put it? I don't
Persuasion.
have a
Persuasion.
palate.
Cater to one who is made of metal and stone.
Oh,
Is
yes, you're quite right. That's
not
me.
for...
Hi, I'm Mike.
Greetings, Mike. I am Elias. I believe we have introduced ourselves.
We have introduced the cells.
Yes, myself, himself, the selves.
Oh, right. I thought you had like a split personality then.
No, it's just reiterating information that I believe was already disclosed. But I am sure that someone here would be able to accommodate your dietary requirements. I would suggest speak with Von Fenwick. He is traveled very far, brings many
Okay. And
unusual.
I walk out, like,
Oh,
as soon as
okay.
you said that,
Well,
I just walk out and I go straight towards Von Fenwick in the tent.
very, very good. The rest of you, please. You are honored guests. Please enjoy.
Well, if I'm an honoured guest, I best look it. I'm going to go back to the cart and get my lavender sequin jacket out that I had from previous.
Absolutely fine. Can
Beautiful.
you just make me a quick constitution check, please?
It was just straight con you wanted.
Just straight con check, yeah.
That was 8.
Okay. Takes you a little bit longer than you think to get back to the carriage. You weren't quite expecting the heat to hit you as it did. Unfortunately, once you've got your sequin jacket, you realise that the sequins are having the slightly beneficial effect of reflecting some of the heat away from you. So you are now slightly cooler than the rest of the party who have to deal with...
And I look fancy as
And
fuck.
you
That's the main
do look
thing.
fancy as fuck.
You're very sparkly.
Hey, we're representing here. Gotta look good. And I had blood stains on my jacket from that stupid blacksmith. Anyway.
It's, yeah, I was going to say, if there were any stains on the sequin jacket, the light catching it would quite easily either blind the person that's looking at it, or it would just be enough to disguise it away.
I was going to say, my standard clothes probably would have been a bit dirty, so.
So, am I assuming that the rest of you were just waiting for Mick to come back before heading off after Mike, or?
I'm going to change my clothes to something lightweight.
Okay. Same for yourself, please. Constitution check to see how you're dealing with the heat.
15. I can't
50.
count apparently.
Surprisingly well. You may so you managed to make it back to the carriage absolutely fine. There's no issues there. You're totally aware of just how warm it is. When you get into the carriage, you make a point to just place your hand into the icebox that's currently got a few drinks and is also where you've stored Nacho's jar for safekeeping during travel. For those of you who have missed a couple of sessions, Kallus is now in possession of the remains of some demonic cheese, which he is able to use to summon up a cheese skeleton that has been nicknamed Nacho.
Which I'm
Awesome.
going to do now.
Are you going to summon Nacho?
Yes. To walk around with me.
Okay.
Worth
It's gonna
the
sound
level 12.
so sweaty.
Because Nacho's your only friend.
Sure. He's the only friend I need.
Okay.
He,
That and Bull.
he not your friend.
Mick, you can have inspiration because you stole my joke.
Of course he did.
All of that is just wonderful.
Yeah. In retrieving Nacho's jar from the icebox, you also managed to just weave some evocation magic to just transfer a little bit of your body heat out, and essentially just cast not a frost spell per se, but a cooling spell on yourself. So I'd say for the next 5 hours, you've got no issue dealing with the heat.
Awesome.
Anything from either Notad or Daisy before we carry on?
Nothing specific, mate.
Cool. Notad?
Sorry, I zoned out for a second.
It's alright. We're totally here for
What's
you.
happening?
Let them
Um,
die in peace.
We loot him.
So Callison, right,
They've changed their clothes.
hard ban on looting party members, especially while they're still alive and just
still
about
alive,
conscious.
Besides,
yeah.
they're
Still
really
alive,
diseased
really
right
badly
now.
burned.
I still function.
Last thing I remember, Kallus was changing his clothes and he rolled the 15.
Okay, cool. So Callus and Mick have gone back for a change of cooler clothes. Daisy appears to be just enjoying the reverie and it's just kind of like I'm assuming Daisy's just taken up like the mom position of being the meeting point whilst everyone runs off and does stuff.
Daisy's just wearing her short shorts.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
I
Being-
want to see if I can get any pointers from the steeplechase that's going on. Just like see if I can get any tips and tricks before my race.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a. Let's call this a charisma persuasion check. Please.
That's a nat 20.
Oh,
Hey.
magnificent.
Makes it a, not that it really matters, 22.
Okay. So you find that there is a somewhat elderly halfling who confides in you that they used to be a clawfoot jockey themselves. And they mention to you, they're like, hey, well, the real trick is to decide how you're gonna handle the animal coming into the jumps. You've got two options. You can either hang back, suss it out yourself, let the animal get a feel for what's going on, or you can just hell for leather, just bomb at it and hope that that your clawfoot's going to be able to handle it.
That's not like the greatest advice in the world, is it really?
They go on to explain to you in a bit more detail exactly how the race plays out and the best ways to either prepare or push the mount going through each of the jumps.
Okay. Cool.
You follow me?
Yes,
Excellent.
I understand.
Good. Private messages are a good thing. Okay. So, all of you, your business is concluded. You meet back up at the Daisy Mom meeting point, and make your way towards Von Fenwick's Travelling Tavern. Mike, you have already bombed straight over there, so you've got, let's say, you've arrived like 10 minutes before everyone else.
Sound.
The rest of you, when you arrive, you come to this, it's a huge octagonal black tent on the southern side of the main showground. There are these sort of velvety purple and red drapes hanging from the supporting posts. Each of the posts are topped with what look like these silvered metal gargoyles as they protrude out the top of the dark canvas. As you make your way into the tent, either through magic or the opacity of the material that's being used, it is dark enough to require lanterns throughout to provide sufficient light. You can see what look like bats occasionally flitting around the upper reaches. And as you look down at the floor, you can see that there is this layer of like ankle-high creeping fog, occasionally forming what look like grasping hands or snakes slithering through. In spite of the very sinister and kind of gothic overtones, the atmosphere within is far from oppressing or dour. The patrons are bustling back and forth between tables set out throughout the whole space, coming back and forth from the bar, carrying drinks. It's really cheery. There is just this really positive energy filling the entire space. The tables are chatting amongst themselves. Every so often someone shouts. There's laughter from, jokes suitable and unsuitable for broadcast throughout the entirety of the tent. And you can see that Mycure is already standing at the bar. Their head is just kind of like flicking back and forth. Mycure, what you've spent the last 10 minutes doing is watching this very tall, quite lithe figure working the bar. They'll stop, stoop down a little bit to take orders from the halfling patrons, and then just move with this unnatural speed between the various casks of ales, bottles of wines and spirits. And despite the number of customers and the general busyness in the drinks tent, as you sort of assess the situation, you seem... First of all, you recognise that this is the only person working the bar, but by your estimation and with sort of assistive calculations from the docent, no one appears to be waiting longer than about 40 seconds to get their drink.
I'm also busy trying to say, hi, but you keep spinning and turning around and moving away. I'm like, hi, I'm Mike. And I'm kind of like in this loop of waiting to catch enough time for his attention. And
the rest of you sort of come up to the bar to see Mike. You're desperately trying to get the bartender's attention as they're flitting back and forth. And it's only when the group of you have approached the bar that they stop long enough and straighten up in front of you. And you can see that where they've been moving, they haven't been like sprinting. It's just a case of they're in one position and then very quickly they have moved to another position and then to another position. There doesn't appear to be any great amount of effort sort of expended between getting from point A to point B. They stop and they look at you, and it is a human with very pale skin, slight point to the ears. Their hair is completely sort of swept back over their skull, and they just stop. They've got a little towel over their arm. My apologies. Welcome to Von Fenwick's Travelling Tavern. I am Henry Von Fenwick. How can I satisfy you?
hi, I'm Mike. Oh gosh, that took a long time.
My sincere apologies. I did not see you standing there.
But I'm the only one here that had 100% of me.
I am well aware, but you are also the only one who does not have a pulse. I'm afraid I get a little bit blood-sided.
I'd like to visibly recoil at the creepy man.
Oh,
But
please,
more
do
in a
not,
sort of sex pest way than anything else.
do not be afraid. I do not bear any ill intent here. I am simply running a bar and providing drinks. Excuse me one moment, and they just flit away and serve another 5 customers and then reappear back at you and say, so,
I'm sure you're a very nice guy.
I have been running the traveling tavern for 2 centuries now. It is simple work, but it is very satisfying for me.
Bet you enjoy a good Bloody Mary as well.
Oh, this is the first time today I have heard that joke. Not the first time at all, but the first time today. Most people assume it has already been told, but yes. No, unfortunately I cannot drink it. It is like ash to my mouth.
It's like an ass mouth.
It is like ash to my mouth.
Your mouth is like an ass.
It is like ash to my mouth.
Right. I really thought Notad would have said something about ass to mouth there, but never mind.
Yeah, his brain's not firing on all cylinders. I was just sat here going,
Yeah, he's
"Mm,
dying.
insert something here."
Just
All the
And
parts
so
are there,
the
just
joke
make it yourself.
continues.
Something, innuendo.
something in your end.
Insert something here.
Something, wizard staff, something.
The wizard staff has a knob on the end.
I put on my robe and wizard hat.
Oh, fancy dress.
Wunderbar.
Ausgezeichnet, ja. I was sent here. Do you have something for me?
We have several beverages. We have local ales, ciders, wines, spirits. If you get my drift. Oh, his little joke. But for you, my friend, I have something special out the back. One moment, please. And they flit off and go and serve another half dozen customers who have been waiting. And then reappear just in front of you. Prices are on the board. It points to a board, and you can see that there are various prices for the different beverages. And the bottom of the sign just says, all coins of the realm accepted, including cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency, get out.
Ah,
Oh, it's like dealing with me.
it is.
I'm enjoying the cryptocurrency, even if no
So-
one else is.
So what is that? Huh. Maybe I should go out back and see for myself. I start making a move.
Okay.
What sort of a move?
Forward.
Not like a dance move.
Yes, like John
No.
Travolta from Disco.
Every dance move's the robot with me.
I disco boogie my way out of the tent, but you may have inspiration for the robot.
Thank you. Yes. And so yeah, I try and I try and make my way out back to see
Okay.
what's
did-
installed because I look at the menu and it still doesn't make sense to me because I don't know what.
Yeah. So the tent itself is completely open on all sides, but it just seems that the light is incredibly dark. It's just almost like it's casting a solid shadow downwards from the canvas to the floor inside of the tent. But the sides are completely open. You can see daylight outside fairly easy, so it's not difficult for you to just literally wander out the back of the tent. There's no security or anything there. What you find are a series of carriages sort of connected together like a train. There are 2 incredibly large jet black horses there who just turn and snort at you, and you see the steam sort of just billow out of their nostrils, despite the fact it's an incredibly hot day. Their eyes are blood red, and their harness has got this very sort of bat-like kind of peeking to it along the harness and the tethers to the carriages. And you see Von Fenwick has flitted from the bar to the middle carriage and just with one hand just flipped open the entire side on a hinged panel. Just starts rummaging through and just goes, "Ah, are you familiar with macadam's drinking oil?"
Ooh, macadams. That's hard to get down in Shan.
It is. Fortunately, I met macadam some 150 years ago and managed to secure at least 2 crates of this stuff. I rarely get to serve where forged.
Oh, and I can have one?
Certainly, it is 2 silver pieces for a pitcher. I will decant it for you if you wish.
Yeah, I give that straight away. Any chance to get a bit of yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. It takes your 2 silver coins and flits back to the bar. The rest of you see Von Fenwick just appear in front of you, already decanting this thick black oil into a pitcher and placing the pitcher and a oversized straw that may actually be just some like plumbing pipe into the top of it, and then waving out the back of the tent towards Mike here and he goes, "My friend."
Okay, I come back and I put the pipe into my chest cavity.
Yep.
And I just
No worries.
draw it all in and make sure there's no bubbles and such.
The whole thing at once. You
Well,
just
pretty much.
You just
pretty much.
torpedoed the entire pitcher.
It kind of goes.
Yeah. There's a moment or two as the pumps kind of like saturate and then just suck the
Yep.
whole. Right. Okay. Can you make me a
Absolutely.
Constitution saving throw, please?
Oh fuck. Okay.
I'm waiting for Notad to make a joke now.
I was blowing my nose. I didn't hear it.
Oh.
Classic note. That would be a 17.
17. Yeah. It is powerful stuff. Like, this is... Compared to the stuff that you've had before, which appears to have now been, in retrospect, a knockoff of macadam's drinking oil, this is the genuine article. You have just effectively... You've effectively torpedoed a very fine wine for your people.
Oh, that's the stuff. That's the stuff. Oh, everything's running smoothly now. Everything's moving a lot slicker. I feel slicker. I feel top. I'm feeling great, Nick. See you later, Fenwick Stan. I'm going to get best in show. And I like motor my way out of
Yep.
the tent now, and I start like, yeah.
You
Almost leave like
are...
a mic-shaped hole where if there were canvas there, but I make it through because I'm feeling so precise and so accurate in my movement. I'm just like,
That is fine. You are now smashed as far as a Warforged can get.
yes.
For the next 7 hours, you get
Yes.
advantage on any charisma-based performance, persuasion, deception checks.
Wonderful.
You get disadvantage on anything that requires fine motor skills.
Also understandable. What if I was hitting on a motor?
As in trying to seduce like an engine?
Yeah.
I mean, technically advantage. It's charisma
Look.
persuasion, but you're
But
working
I shouldn't
against
take
like...
advantage against a... Sorry.
You're working with advantage. You are not taking advantage. It's still an engine. Consent is a thing. This is a road I'm not willing to go down. Pivoting back to the rest of you.
Let's leave theoretical physics behind.
Let's just leave the whole can you fuck car parts to one side for now. We'll come
Yeah.
back to the rest of you.
Notad,
Is that
yeah.
autoerotic?
Stop. Just stop.
I can't. I'm tipped up.
Oh god. Right. So to the rest of you then. We'll go around the group. Start with Daisy. So you're still at the bar. You've seen Von Fenwick flit off, flit back, pour a drink from Mikeor, watch Mikeor torpedo an entire pitcher of what looks to be just oil. And Mikeor has now gone hooning out of the tent, filled with binary Dutch courage.
I am going to go and see that he's all right because he doesn't seem it.
Understandable. We'll come back to you in a second then. Kallus, Mick, and Notad. What are you guys up to?
I am not going to find out he's okay, but I am going to go and take notes to see how they are doing this, because I have not seen a Warforged get drunk, and I wish to see what Mike is doing.
Okay, so you've toddled off to go make field notes on drunk robots. Okay,
I am in no way helping them.
that's fine.
You
Go
really
ahead
got
and
all
make me an
heart.
investigation check, and we'll come back to you in a second.
Excellent.
Mick and Notad.
I want to see if the barman has anything that he believes will help win the steeplechase.
Ah, you're competing. Well, I don't believe I have anything that would necessarily provide you with any immediate help. It would make you feel more confident, but would not necessarily provide any physical advantage.
I'll go for confidence.
I think I'm getting
That's
Dutch
all he
courage from
needs.
this.
Mm.
Yes, we refer to it as Corvarian courage. It pulls out flits off, comes back, and has a fairly elaborate looking kind of crystal bottle filled with what kind of looks like the consistency of wine, but has a much more orange color to it. It says the Goldriches have told me not to offer this to the competitors, but I believe a shot for good luck is not out of the question.
A bit dubious, but sure.
Pours out basically a shot glass worth, which, based on your size, is like half a mug. He says, 1 silver apiece, if you please.
Yep, sure.
Takes it, pockets it, flits off, and goes serve a few more clients.
Neck it.
Okay.
Do you start chanting, "Get it down, you"?
Get it down.
Can't chant that and drink it at the same time.
Go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, I wish I was a halfling.
What could it be?
Just how they go. Get it down, you orcish warrior.
Got a 2.
Okay. You feel the drink make its way down your gullet, and it is like fire. You've dealt with like harsh spirits before, but this is nothing like that. This is literally like you have just inhaled too close to a bonfire.
Wonderful.
As it does, your head starts to swim. And tell me about Notad's dreams last night. What were they like?
God.
Oh god.
Dreamt,
You don't-
wow. It
you don't wanna know.
started with a tornado chasing him down a high street.
Hmm.
But it chased him into this like house, and he went and hid upstairs. And in the room he was hiding in, there was like 4 naked people, and one thing led to another. And yeah, it's all right.
People.
As you
One
feel,
thing led to another, he now has AIDS.
Mick, You feel the sort of wind start to blow across the back of your neck. And as you look over to Notad, you see them being sort of lifted up by this swirling miniature gale that has just enveloped them. Doesn't appear to be having any negative effects, but immediately just yeets them away from the bar, and they crash down at a table with 4 lady halflings, who immediately become very concerned about Notad's health and help you up. Start to just go, "Oh, are you all right? Are you okay?"
He's
And they
in.
introduce themselves and begin chatting.
Sweet.
Nice.
Nice.
Mick,
Nice.
given everything that's happened, what are you up to?
I'm gonna walk out the bar tent, thinking, well, that's none of my business, and go and have a look at what could possibly they be Dion could have been referring to by aerial beasts.
Okay. Can you go ahead and make me an investigation check, please?
I could. I really need to turn the light on because I can't see the numbers on the dice.
I need brighter dice.
18.
18, fantastic. So, first thing that catches your eye as you're looking around is the bird-like figure that you saw wheeling overhead on the way in. The next thing that catches your eye is Mike, you're striding with great purpose around the sort of showground, followed by a slightly concerned-looking Daisy and Kallus furiously scribbling notes. The third thing you notice is that there is a tent set up with an open, fenced-off space in front of it, and you can see that there's a halfling standing there with she's got her hair tied back, she's got a shirt, sleeves rolled up, one arm covered with a decently thick looking leather gauntlet. They've got kind of like a gilet thing with a load of pockets with bits of, you can see like little bits of feather and sort of random just bits and pieces that may be tools or toys or something just poking out of each of the pockets, and just a shoulder bag strapped over, and they're sort of reaching in with their non-gauntleted hand to grab something. They're looking up at the creature flying overhead. As you get closer, you can hear their voice again. It's being amplified, and you can see that they've got a choker on with a glowing blue crystal, and at the front of the sort of bit that they're standing on is 2 sort of posts set up with these larger blue crystals on that appear to be amplifying the voice out. And they say, well, the main thing about pteranodons is that they are excellent for hunting, they're excellent for scouting, but the main thing about this particular breed is that they are incredibly easy to train because they will go absolutely mad for food. They absolutely adore cheese, and they pull their hand out of the sort of shoulder bag. And you can see they've just got a little lump of cheese. Place it into the gauntleted hand and just hold their arm out to the side. And this figure in the sky just immediately turns and folds its wings in and dives straight down towards them. And just before, as it looks like they're about to smack completely into the ground, the wings burst open and they immediately take a sharp upward turn and land with wingtips claw down onto the gauntlet, smaller hind legs gripping on as well, and through a long, thin beak just pecking at the cheese in the gauntleted hand. So, as you can see, I've been working with Sarah here for only 2 weeks now, and her recall is fantastic. There's a round of applause from the watching crowds, and a couple of little kids are like, "Wow, you see that? It came down and whoosh, and wow."
Great. I'm going to approach the tent and have a look around.
Okay. So the tent itself is open. And you can see there's quite a few people just sort of filing through. This is clearly meant to be sort of part of the display. There's a couple of the halfling officials just sort of walking through, just chatting to people and checking stuff out. And again, it's very sort of family friendly, kind of look at the animals kind of thing. And there are various these pterodactyl creatures on sort of walking around on their wingtips, just sort of snuffling around in the hay. A few of them are just in cages by themselves, some of them in cages paired up. And there is one incredibly large one, sort of at least twice the size of any of the others. And you can see it sort of making its way around this sort of large pile of hay in the centre. And every so often you can see the beak goes in and just moves a bit of the hay. And you catch just a glimpse of eggshell. They move the hay back over, and they're very attentively tending to this nest. Again, there's a few kids running around just pointing and fascinated by this stuff, and then running around. You see one of them chasing another, pretending to be a pteranodon, just going flapping their arms and giggling, and run out of the tent.
So, is there any of the other trainers about the place, or like, is it just the one that's doing the speech out the front?
You don't seem to see any other trainers around. Like I said, there's a couple of the halfling officials with the kind of high-vis vests on, but there doesn't appear to be anyone actually going into any of the cages.
Fair enough. And there's only the one that looks like it's protecting something.
Yeah, so like I say, there's smaller ones in cages, and then this one very large one in again an equally larger cage by itself. I mean, the container itself is easily sort of 7 foot square, which is big relative to the size of the animals. And you can see that it is just tending to a nest in the centre.
Right. I'm going to wander back out the tent and go find Kallus, who's probably still following Micah and scribbling.
I certainly am.
Yep.
Let him know what I found, and maybe potentially we could acquire them on an evening nearer the end of the festival, so we don't rouse too much suspicion, or maybe even potentially speak to the trainer about how else we could acquire them.
Okay. So we'll come back to Team Drinks duty. So Michael, buoyed up by your newfound invigoration, what are you doing right now?
So everybody can start hearing this like small, high-pitched noise in their ears. The closer you are to me, the louder it is, but that steadily becomes louder and louder as I get more and more enthusiastic about what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I've got a cloth with a little bit of polish on, and I am scrubbing. I'm going, and it's getting faster and faster and faster, and my movements feel more pumped up as I'm polishing myself, and all you hear is best in show, best in show, best in show. I'm gonna be best in show. And I'm just like polishing my all the metal bits on my body.
You're rubbing yourself.
As you're as you're buffing yourself up,
Furiously.
you hear the voice of the docent in your head, and clearly whatever you've drank has got to them as well, because you can feel the excitement coming off of them. It's like, yes, victory will be ours. We will defeat every single one of these useless beef piles.
Yes, we sure will, buddy. Together we will be 1, 2, 3.
Unstoppable, the greatest We'll crush them beneath our boots.
Best in show.
What is happening?
And
That is
then I
excellent
throw the
question.
cloth away. And I kind of like tap dance my way. Like and it's only tapping because my feet are made out of like inorganic material. So I'm just like tapping and clunking my way into another tent to get ready.
It's fine.
They even do a robot best in show.
Daisy, seeing this, what is your response?
I don't know. I'm at something of a loss.
I mean, you have seen that Kallus has been following you, furiously taking notes on the whole proceedings, so you have got a point of reference there if you wanted to confer.
Fuck it, I'm gonna join in dancing.
All right,
I can't think of anything better to
Fascinating.
do.
that's fine. Can't beat them. Join them. Please make me a performance check to see how wonderful your dance is.
To be honest, I was more thinking from a. Did you ever see that episode of Scrubs where JD tries to throw a basketball and it bounces off the ring, hits him in the head? So Turk
Yes.
lies down next to him so that he looks less crazy.
Fair enough. You're just joining it.
That's-
Okay,
Yeah, 15.
that's fine.
I'm not going for good so much as I am trying to, as much as possible, imitate what
You're
I.
just trying to show support for your friend. That's
Yeah, I'm trying to.
absolutely
This is
fine.
interesting. The craziness has spread.
For what it's worth, I rolled a nat 20.
Hey,
You don't have to roll. You are just mad.
I'm perfect just the way I am.
You are
clearly.
just So yeah.
you're something.
At this point, like the people around have kind of like they're seeing this going on, and they think it's like seeing how sort of in sync with one another you are. They think that this is part of the entertainment that's been put on. So there's people cheering, and a couple of them are like sort of fake joining in with the dancing, and there's like a little bit of a kind of conga line forming behind you of halflings just sort of fake polishing themselves, going, "Oh, best in show! Oh, best in show! Oh, best in show!" Kallus, this is a new experience for you, I believe.
It is. It is fascinating.
So remind me again your investigation roll, please.
13.
13. Okay. So the intent was to monitor the changes on Mycure, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you can see that they're displaying a level of confidence that you've not seen from them before. In doing so, you feel like it's putting some stress on their joints and such, because their movements don't seem to be as precise as they once were. They appear to be not so much more fluid, but they seem to be prone to minor errors and the occasional physical stutter. So whilst they're sort of buffing, you can see that what would normally be just a perfectly circular motion is every so often sort of stopping and then starting again. There is like it's kind of like watching a video where there is a sort of period of micro buffering.
Causes input lag. Excellent.
So
I'm assuming Mick has turned up by this point.
yeah, Mick has managed to find their way to you and given you some of the information in regards to the pteranodons in the aerial display. And on that, we're going to take a break. So
Best in show.
we'll be back in about 10 minutes then to pick this up. See you all shortly.
Hattie bye.
Bye.
Bing.
we're back. Right, so recap everything. Michael is currently preparing themselves for Best in Show. Mick and Kallus are discussing the discoveries made by Mick in the Pteranodon tent. Notad, you are getting very friendly with 4 concerned and deeply interested halfling maidens in the beer tent. And Daisy is in part sort of making sure that Michael doesn't go off the rails, whilst also eyeing up the centre arena where they are setting up for the next Tilting Trikes event.
I feel like that's something that I would enjoy.
Well, if you want to make yourself known to the organisers, they have already advised that there is a spot open for the representatives of the Boromar clan.
I would enjoy that, thank you.
Okay.
Mick is,
Not sure why I said it like
Mick
quite
is
like
wearing
that.
our sponsor quite proudly as well.
That's fine. Yes, before we actually head back, do we have a follow-up sponsor ad?
We do! This episode is brought to you by Davandi Fine Tailoring, the makers of clothes finer than wiping your ass with silk. Whole way
Magnificent.
ahead.
Magnificent. Thanks again to Devandy's Fine Tailoring for sponsoring tonight's episode. So,
Something about wiping asses.
Daisy, as you make your way over towards the showground, the handlers immediately approach you, recognizing you as the Boromar representative, being that you're basically one of 5 non-halflings that have turned up.
Yeah, I keep forgetting how everyone in the party is very short.
Yeah, you're, like, with the exception of possibly Michael, you are quite possibly the tallest member of the party. So, they introduce you to your mount, who is a Triceratops named Steve. And you can see being prepared at both ends are a series of lancers. And the handler passes you shield, passes you a lance, and says, right, quick question, have you ever done this before? I'll take the silence to mean no. So, I'll give you a quick breakdown of the rules. Each of you gets 5 lances. The winner is the first person to unseat their opponent or break 5 lances. Your aim is to...
Do I win their horse if I their beast if I unhorse them? Ah, fuck. I can't think of the right word. Sorry.
It's fine. No, the animals themselves are property of the Plains Strider clan. So you wouldn't be walking off with Steve here. Pats the Triceratops on its hindquarters. But you will be awarded a prize in the ceremony just after Best in Show this evening. Big draw, that one. Tends to get everyone out of the tents and over to the main stage. So, did you have any questions?
When does it start?
Whenever you're ready. And he points down to the other end of the showground, and you can see that there is a halfling already seated up and ready to go on the other Triceratops.
I was not expecting this level of speed.
Oh, we get quite a bit of a turnaround on this.
Okay, I'll make my way down and, no pun intended, mount the beast.
Okay, so quick explanation of the rules here. Each of you, so you both make a pass at each other. So as far as kind of initiative goes,
Also, what no that does.
attacks will happen
at the same time, is it?
Yeah, attacks will happen simultaneously.
Okay.
And it is possible for jousters to unseat each other at the same time, in which case a draw is called and both are
A draw?
Both are, yeah, so that particular run counts as a draw. There is no winner in that scenario, so you both return back to your start positions and take another go at it. So, both of you have shields, so you get +2 to your armor class to start with.
Okay.
The lance is a strength weapon, so it's d20 plus your strength modifier to hit, and then
Okay.
1d12 plus your strength and proficiency.
1d12 plus your strength and proficiency. Okay.
For damage. Is that right? No, sorry, it's d20 plus your strength modifier and proficiency to hit. Strength modifier for damage.
+4 strength modifier for damage. Okay.
Okay. So on each pass, you make an attack with your lance. If you hit, you then have to. If you hit, the opponent then has to make a brace check with a difficulty equal to the damage taken. On a failed check, they're unmounted and immediately lose. Brace check is based on your strength modifier, and you can use animal handling if you're proficient.
I am not.
Okay, so this will just be straight out strength check. Okay?
Okie doke.
So, both of you line up, and the announcer immediately calls for you to charge. So, as you make your way down the fence, I'm going to need you to roll to hit the halfling charging at you on a Triceratops with a lance.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out how to do that on D20, and I'm not sure that I can.
Just roll a d20 and then add your strength modifier. Sorry, d20 and add your strength and proficiency.
Ah, there we are. Okay, 18 to hit.
That hits. What is your armor class?
18 now.
Okay. So they have missed, you have hit, and you've broken one of your lances.
Way.
And they need to make a strength animal handling check to see whether they stay on. Can you roll me some damage, please? So that's going to be a d12 plus your strength modifier.
6.
Okay, so they need to beat a 6. Do just. So as the lance breaks on their shield, you can see them sort of like thrown back on the Triceratops with the force of it, but they manage to recover and sit themselves back up. And you make it to the other end of the run. You are presented with a new lance. They turn and go again.
Okie doke. Oh. Okay. 18 again, somehow.
That hits. Again, you've broken your second lance. They completely whiffed it. They're still surprised that they're used to like working against halflings. They're a little bit thrown off trying to deal with someone of your height.
Who's this massive lass?
Yep. So again, d12 plus your strength for damage, please, to determine their race check.
1d12 plus 2. This time 10.
Not only do you break your lance, you send them flying off their mount.
Ha 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 ha.
The announcer immediately goes, "The winner, the Boromar representative!" And there is a huge swell of cheers going up from the crowd. And as you make your victory lap around the jousting area, there are cheers, there are people throwing flowers to you. Even the opponent who has clearly been shaken by it, they're just sort of being helped up by their minders. They're sort of brushing them off like, "It's fine, it's fine, it's fine," and they're standing up and they're applauding.
Okay.
They're applauding you as well. You can see that they're not moving too well. They've got a bit of a limp going on. They're having to lean on someone for support, but they're still impressed with the skill on display there. So you'll now be entered into the champion ceremony.
Prize draw?
Yep, basically a prize draw. Yeah. So you will now be entered as a trike tilting champion for the big award ceremony this evening.
If memory serves, is tri-tilting not... Oh, what was the phrase they use? Not best in show. Tournament champion.
Yes, so there's a champions roster. So all of the champions from the various events throughout the day are also being judged on their performance. And they are included basically as part of the best in show presentation.
It's a show.
Yeah, so it's
Cool.
not just best in show for animals, it's best in show for participants throughout the day. Speaking of which, as the tilting trikes are being sort of taken off and housed and sorted out, you can see that the clawfoot steeplechase is being set up.
Hey. Notad will enjoy that, I'm sure.
Notad, from the beer
Yeah.
tent, you do hear the announcement go out saying the next clawfoot steeplechase will be starting in 5 minutes.
Sorry, ladies, I've got to go. We can resume this later. Please feel free to come watch me, and I'll give one of you the rose. Isn't that what you do in these kind of things? I give, yeah. My favour.
Is that you?
Go ahead and just make me a straight charisma check.
Do me a favour.
I want this to be a nat 20 so bad.
Can't see my dice. I'm moving over to D&D Beyond. It's an 8.
They all seem like sort of very energetically flustered by this. They're all like, "Ooh, that's it would be nice." And you walk out of the tent feeling like, "Yeah, I am totally in there." As you turn back and just take another look at them, they've just gone back to their drinks and it's like you were never there. So you make your way over to the showground, and you can see that the clawfoots are all being set up in their starting positions. There's 2 representatives from Greenfoot Clan with the sort of green saddles and livery. Plain Strider Clan's got 2 racers with the red livery. There's 1 Gold Reach rider with the sort of blue livery to it. And there is 1 mount set up ready for you with a very intricate kind of silver pattern going on the saddle and harness. Can you make me just a animal handling check, please?
Yep. That's a 15.
The clawfoot that you're mounting seems very comfortable with you. Being that you're a gnome and slightly smaller than a halfling, it's like, oh, this should be easy.
I know what I'm doing with things between my legs.
Do you
To
have
throw a spanner in
inspiration?
I don't know.
Have inspiration.
You.
To throw a spanner in the works, though, can I also compete just to try and beat Notad?
God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Just make me a persuasion check, please.
What have I got on persuasion? +1. So that is a 15.
So as you approach the starting position, you sort of, one of the officials looks over and recognizes that you want to join in. They're like, I'm sorry that all the riders are spoken for on this race, and they kind of look up towards the official's tent at Elias, who looks down and goes, just sort of waves, and you see that the Gold Reach rider just quite graciously just hops down and holds the reins and just beckons you over to there.
Thank you, Norris.
their mount. So you are now in the
Yeah.
starting blocks next to Notad.
Oh God.
The announcer's voice again comes over these amplified crystals and it says, "The next Clawfoot steeplechase is about to begin. This is a special one, folks. Not one, but 2 riders from the party of Boromar representatives. Big cheer for them!" And the crowd again just erupts in applause and cheers.
I'll just be like doing a sort of regal wave at all the girls in the crowd.
Absolutely fine. So the announcer just looks around, just make sure everyone's ready. Step back and say, "All right, on your marks, get set, go!" And the gates drop in front of you, and the Clawfoot are away. They are immediately bombing down towards the first jump. So, at the first hurdle, I'm going to need to have both of you make dexterity animal handling checks, please.
How do you make it dex and not wisdom?
Wisdom's animal
it's-
handling's what?
So if you have animal handling, use animal handling. Otherwise, you use your dexterity.
Okay. my
Okay.
dex is bigger. So yeah. So okay.
In that case, 20.
Ooh.
15.
Okay, so
Big
That's it.
ones.
This is unfair because you get the most insane rolls.
This is so unfair.
How
No
many dice
You
you
chance.
roll
have?
dice better than me.
Yeah, it's true though.
okay, so sorry, what were those numbers again, Mick? What was that?
20.
20 and Notad?
15.
15. Okay. So both of you easily clear the first set of gates. Let's just see what the
Chat reckons I should have advantage because I studied how to do this race before racing.
you did. So if you have a look at the notes I pinged over to you.
Yeah. It's bad to
Have-
not have those without my
No.
advantage. Okay,
No,
cool.
that is your advantage. You have the hidden knowledge about how to better handle the animals.
Right, okay.
Okay. Let's have a look.
I feel like I should cast levitate on it.
Just start flying over all of the hurdles.
Look how gracefully he moves.
Okay, so Mick, you easily clear the first hurdle. Notad, you see one of the other riders manages to get over just before you're a little bit faster out the gate, and then you're over. The remaining 3 are tailing behind you. Second hurdle comes up. I'm going to need the same checks again, please.
Can I make a different one?
You can use your advantages, yes. What would you like to do?
Like to push.
Okay, go for it. So, if you're going to push your amount, so you are looking to push your mouse. So you make a strength or animal handling check.
Yeah, it's not gone well.
You're looking to beat a. Sorry. Looking to beat a 3.
Oh, I've got a 9.
Absolutely fine then. Yep, so you have advantage. Sorry, no, you automatically go up 1 step on this. So let me just make a note of the previous scores. Okay, so jump 2. What did we all get?
Oh, you got a 16.
Excellent. Noted.
So I do have to do another one.
So you
This is
roll.
not-
You roll anyway, but whatever you score, because you push your mount, you go up.
Yeah.
You will automatically jump up a rank if someone scores higher than you.
So do we use the 9 or I have to roll again? Sorry.
So the 9 was just to check how much you
Whether I was-
push the mount by. So
Right,
you
okay.
roll again now for taking the jump.
Which I got 17.
17. Fantastic. The others. Okay. 2. Okay. So, Notad, you are out in front on this one.
See you later, Mick.
There is 2 riders behind you. Mick has fallen behind them. And then Mick, there's just 2 more riders behind you. Whoever came out the gate second is doing really badly. Okay. 3rd jump.
I'm just going to do a normal jump.
Absolutely fine.
Oh, fucking hell.
Am I just rolling with a dex check again?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I got 19.
Notad?
I got
I love-
10.
I love this dice. I'm keeping it forever.
Excellent. So Mick has managed to make up his charge ahead. Notad, there are 2 more riders go over the jumps before you, and then 2 more that follow after you. 4th gate come up. So you've gone down the far stretch on the opposite side to the judging tent. Everyone's kind of pulled up a little bit more level again.
I got 14.
I've gone for a push,
Yep.
and I rolled a
So-
5.
Push on a 5. So that is... yep, you beat that.
Fucking hell. And then my jump is a 17.
Fantastic. So again, Notad, you're pulling back that distance. You're pulling ahead of the others on there. The other riders are all falling behind at this stage. So you're onto the penultimate gate now.
I'm going to prepare.
Okay. So if you make me the preparation roll, please, which is equal to or greater than your current score, which is you're looking to beat a... You are looking to beat a 5.
I got 17.
Absolutely fine. So you get advantage on this jump check. So what do we get?
15.
15. Excellent. So yeah, slightly uneven ground. 2 of the other riders have gone ahead of you, but you do manage to pull off the jump absolutely beautifully. Mick?
I got 8.
8. Yeah, you did not realise that the ground had shifted on this one.
Yeah.
Kind of flubbed the jump a little bit. And then we get down to the final gate before the last stretch back to the home. You've immediately noticed that the 3 of the other riders have just cleared the fences, sailing absolutely beautifully across.
I'm going to push for the final one.
Go for it. You are looking to beat a... Basically, you're looking to beat a 3.
I got 19.
Absolutely fine. Go for it.
16.
I rolled a 19.
Beautiful. Okay. You clear it through and you make it to the end of the race. The race marshal is like, well, that was a magnificent performance on all sides. We will wait for the judges to total up the scores, and then we will see who our winners are. So whilst the judge is deliberating, Kallus, what are you up to?
I was going to go and inquire about what me and Mick were doing, but until Mick is finished faffing around on the steeplechase, I will just watch the steeplechase with everybody else, I think, and just
Cool.
keep an eye out for stuff.
That's fine. Are you looking for anything in particular, or are you just like monitoring?
Just monitoring.
Absolutely fine. No worries. Go ahead and make me an investigation check, please.
That's a 10.
Okay. So as you look around, you can see that everyone is sort of very intently watching the steeplechase results. You can see people filtering in and across. Looking around, you see a few folks just meandering back from like the beer tents. A couple of them got little bundles of food and a few drinks. Nothing untoward, out of the ordinary. A couple of odd glances are given towards the fact that you've got Nacho standing in tow with you.
Yeah. I was hoping I could sort of weekend at Bernie's, dress him up in something.
What are you
So you're
thinking?
just going to try and dip nachos into
Whatever clothes I might be able to acquire nearby. If they have any sort of
it.
typical
Halfling clothes.
festival garb. Yeah, I'm thinking more like a couple that I can stretch over.
Short
Or a
shorts.
cloth.
Have
Oh,
you got
that'd
any
be
extra
amazing.
long trousers? Put them on. They're short shorts.
Have they? Cover up its modesty.
A lot of the merchants tend to be sort of geared towards like animal stuff. So it's a lot of like tack and harness bits and pieces. There are a couple of like craft stalls that are selling like rugs and mats and stuff. A couple of like sort of textile stands. And whilst
That'll
you're
do.
kind of looking over at those, and you barter that like maybe you could get one and just cut a hole in the middle and just form it to like a poncho for Nacho.
Borderline racial appropriation, but sure, I'll go for it.
Okay. The stall holder's like, that should do, and they seem a little bit distraught at like cutting out a hole in the center of like one of the mats that they've spent a decent amount of time on there. They charge you 5 silver pieces
Worth it.
for that. So now Nacho
Hey,
has a
money with
poncho.
this, I will do.
And as you're sort of trying to get this skeleton to fit into this, you hear an announcement come up from the main staging ground. They say, well, this was an incredibly close race, ladies and gentlemen. In last place, rider number 2 for the Greenfoot clan. Round of applause.
I almost missed this. I was going to Lou.
In joint 3rd place, rider number 1 for the Greenfoot clan, and rider number 2 for the Plainstrider clan. Again, round of applause. In 3rd place, rider number 1 for the Plainstrider clan, meaning that First and second place have been taken with a joint score of 22 points apiece.
Oh,
The representatives from the Boromar clan, and there's this huge swell of cheering and applause, and you guys are basically given, just some flowers by the nearby crowd who are just like, well done, congratulations, woo, yay!
we came going first.
No word of a lie.
Nice.
Both of you scored 22 across
Amazing.
that. After you, the scores went 17, 10, 10, 9.
Nice.
It was literally, I added them all up. I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then adding mix up and 22. Oh, damn. Congratulations, you are both equally skilled Clawfoot Riders.
Shit.
We're skilled because we beat all the usual normal people.
You did.
I only managed to get that because of my preparation there. If I hadn't done that, I'd have been fucked.
So,
I just did it because I'm naturally dexterous.
You get it rolling, you mean?
the announcer again shouts out, very well, we shall now clear the showground and prepare for the best in show presentation.
Best in show! Best in show!
I mean, the +3 to dex really does help.
It really does. The best in show will be on the mains, in the main showground in front of the officials' tent. We shall have a brief period to clear away the event materials, and we shall be starting the presentation in about 10 minutes' time. At this, you can see that the crowds generally are starting to sort of converge towards that. Quite a lot of the other tents are starting to empty out as well. All the folks from like the buffet tent have started to make their way out to get a decent spot for the best in show presentations. Daisy, Notad, and Mick, each of you approached by officials in Ivor saying, well, as champions from today's events, you're part of this. If you'd care to make your way, follow us to the officials' tents, we'll get you up on the stage there. And they start to sort of shepherd you towards just the steps at the side of the officials' tent. So Daisy, Notad, and Mick, you're just being ushered this way, which leaves Kallus and the poncho-wearing Nacho, and Michael, Michael, where are you at this point?
I'm hiding.
Okay.
Not from everybody. Just I'm not there yet. You can't see me. I'm out of the field of view. I'm still getting ready.
So you've secreted yourself somewhere to prepare.
To prepare. Yes.
Okay. You can go ahead and make me a stealth check, please.
Certainly. Huh. Okay, I am using my inspiration.
Okay.
Okay, that is a 13.
Okay. So you've managed to find a space behind some of the tents that seems to be less frequented than others. There's a couple of times where folks that are walking past have sort of wandered near to you, and you've kind of just stopped and watched as they've completely just blanked you and walked on past. The crowd, as a group, have rolled very poorly on their perception checks. So yes, you are hidden behind a non-disclosed tent, preparing yourself. Kallus, what are you up to?
I'm just gonna kind of follow the crowd with Mick and Notad. Well, behind Mick and Notad, whichever. And just trying to catch up with them.
Okay. It's not difficult to do. The officials are kind of sort of ushering them in one direction, but they're not sort of they haven't formed any kind of like force. They're not forcing them in that direction. They are just saying like, oh, it's just over that way, and they're just kind of sort of handing one off to the other and just directing them forward.
Excellent.
Um,
I'll follow them.
Daisy, Notad, and Mick. Where are we at with you guys?
I'm well up for a ceremony, so I'm just following along.
Okay.
Yeah, I just assumed we were going to follow them. If we've won a prize, it makes sense, right?
Absolutely fine. Yeah.
I mean, now I don't trust you, Tom. Now I think someone's going to like jump out and
Hey
bite
Matt,
my nipples off
I
or
just need to
something.
know where you guys are in terms of the space within the theatre of our minds. But yes, if you guys are perfectly compliant with that, then you are quite readily sort of directed towards the sort of staging area at the side of the officials' tent. You can see there's a few other competitors there from the various events through the day. So there's a few more of the like steeplechase riders with their racing uniforms on. There's a couple of guys there from the jousting event. Some of them are holding sort of like, you know, really badly battered shields as like a sort of trophy on there. One of them is just like holding the shattered remains of Lance and is talking quite animatedly about how they broke it during, like, you know, this was supposed to be their last games, and they're like, oh yeah, I didn't think I'd come away with the win, but got it down to the final Lance, and this is the one that won me the contest. Mick, what are you up to?
Just standing on stage looking at the guy with the lance going, meh, not impressed.
That's fair. So you're currently held off to the side of the stage. So you can see now that all of the crowd are starting to swarm out towards, like, there's. You can see quite clearly over the tops of the crowd from where you are. And you can see that pretty much every single one of these tents now is cleared out. Even the vendors have sort of
I
come
gotta
round.
is this the last event that's going on as well?
A couple. Who are you asking that to?
Just like in general, is like this the last day and the last sort of event that's going on in the day?
So a couple of the other competitors that are sort of, you know, sticking around with you, like, oh yeah, this is a end of today. We've got tomorrow to come, and then we're all off home after that. But no, this is the last big event today. Yes, yeah.
No, so there is a day tomorrow as well.
Oh, there's a day tomorrow. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So tomorrow's just a celebratory day, yeah?
Oh, it's basically they just do the half the day. It's just a celebration and thank everyone and say, oh, lovely shows you put on. You know, and we spend most of the day packing up and heading back to our homelands. It's not so much of an event. It's more a sort of any other business kind of couple of hours. You know, it's a last chance for traders to make some coin and then head
Can
off
I
home.
try and signal to Kallus that this would be a good time to maybe try and have a look at the eggs?
Do I see this?
Okay, I'm going to need you to make me a performance check. And I'm
Oh
going to need
God, this
Kallus
is
to make a
terrible.
perception check.
Oh,
Actually,
Ooh,
that's
perception or insight on your side, Kallus.
I got 60.
Okay.
12
Was that perception or insight?
insight.
Okay, that's fine.
Perception.
So Mick, what does your signal look like?
Just to kind of the glare at Kallus and then the look towards the tent where the birds are kept, and sort of the thumb like have a look sort of.
Okay. So Kallus, given the sort of frantic signals that Mick is giving off, it takes you a moment to work out what's going on. But then you're like, gotcha. You
Okay. Give him a
you
subtle nod.
perfectly interpret their instruction that now would be an ideal time to go investigate the Pteranodon staging area.
I will sort of slink towards there.
Absolutely
The
fine.
cheese.
So, back to the main stage. And Elias has stepped out, and there's a big round of applause. He calls for quiet, and you can see that he's wearing one of the chokers with the blue crystal to amplify his voice too. A couple of larger ones at the front of the stage. He says, "My friends, fellow clans, we have had a wonderful games today." Big cheer. And may I extend a special thank you to our honored friends from the Boromar clan, represented here today by these strangers in our land. I am pleased that you have made them feel welcome and that they have participated so sportingly in our events. There's a big cheer. So it falls to me to now read out the winners for Best in Show today. First up, in the category of Best Beast of Burden, the winner is... And Elias begins to launch into this long list of various categories. There's like Best Beast of Burden, Best Presented Animal, Best New Entrant, Best Young Farmer. It goes on for like a good 20 minutes. Given this time frame, Kallus, what are you going to do?
Am I sort of in a crowd of people?
So the majority of the crowd, the vast majority of the crowd has moved across to see the Best in Show. This is a big thing for them. So when you arrive at the tent for the aerial display, you can see the display area outside is completely empty. The sort of resonating crystals have gone dim, clearly turned off. The perches outside are completely empty. And the flaps on the sides of the tent have been sort of closed down. Not like sealed, but in a sort of we're not accepting visitors kind of way.
Okay. And Mick is
currently on the
elsewhere,
stage.
so-
So Mick is on the stage on the opposite side of the showground to you at this point.
Very well. Well, I will cast invisibility on myself
Okay.
and go in.
Okay. So you're basically trying to be as stealthy as possible.
Yes.
Okay.
Just generally skulk around.
And you're casting invisibility on yourself.
Yep.
So Nacho at this point is not invisible.
No, I can leave him outside to, I guess, keep watch, but just kind of stand there because he can't obviously communicate with me, so I'm just going to kind of leave him there.
It's fine. So yeah, Nacho is sort of outside following whatever command you've given them.
I
on
tell
there.
them to look kind of inconspicuous, just sort of stand around.
Okay. What is the intelligence of a cheese skeleton? Oh, not great. Yeah, they've found themselves a broom and started sweeping. What you
do.
didn't see is that they've picked it up and they're like sweeping with the wrong end, so they're just kind of like dragging the top of the broom through the dirt. And occasionally
Close
just sort
enough.
of like brushing a bit of cheese off their own face. So, you're inside the tent and you can see, just as Mick described, there's a series of cages there with the smaller pteranodons in there. Quite a few of them have started to sort of like settle down and kind of get a little bit sleepy. As you kind of close the tent flap behind you, the ones that are kind of closest just kind of perk up and start smelling the air. And you can see they sort of wander crawling over on their wings towards the edge of the cage, and they're kind of poking their heads through the bars as best they can and pointing their noses out towards the flap that you've just come in through.
Okay. I'm just going to have a look around, first of all, if there's any people or non-people guarding it or looking after them or whatever. And then I'll have a look around of some way to acquire what we need.
So as you look around, you can see that there is one. Let's say you've got a load of these smaller cages, and then one really big, like sort of 7-foot cubed cage at the back that contains a much larger individual, and I've got a nest in the centre. And as Mick described it, you can see that there's every so often just moving, just turning these. You can see now that there are clearly a clutch of eggs in there. It's just sort of being down, just turning them very so often, and then just covering them with hay. And as you're watching them do this, you see the female halfling come across with the sort of like falconer's gauntlets on, and just reaches into a side bag and goes, "There you go, Wendy." Just throws a couple of blocks of cheese onto the floor. "There you go. Like your cheese, don't you?" The larger Pteranodon just sort of wanders over and just pecks the ground and tilts its head up and throws back the cheese box. You look after that. I'm going to go see if we've picked up any prizes. She goes to wander out of the tent, and as the flap opens, you hear the amplified voice come through. "And the winner for the largest gherkin goes to..." And the tent flap slams closed again. Slams closed, folds closed. So you're now completely alone in there, save for the animals.
Okay. Where's I take it everybody else is just mulling
Everybody
around.
else is over at the main stage. The only exception is Mycure, who is doing what currently?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Tom.
No good can follow this.
For I am waiting for the big announcement. The big announcement that is the overall best in show. And I'm lying there in wait, slowly becoming more and more restless. I'm just going best in show, best in show, best in show, best in show, best in show. And I can imagine the docent is only saying other things along with me.
Yeah, the
Overall,
docent is just raucous as he's going best in show, best in show, best in show. He
best in
will
show, best in 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 show.
these useless sausage racks. Best in show.
Yes. And so we're waiting for the lineup that will bring out. We're waiting for our time. We're waiting for our time where we can be best in show.
Okay. So, as you're doing that and you're listening, you hear you hear Elias come to. "Now we come to best in show."
Best in show!
And it seems we have unexpected newcomer. Please step up to the stage, my mechanical friend. Ladies and gentlemen, please, big round of applause for representative of Borma clan, Mycure.
And I cast lightning bolt in the air,
Okay.
like straight up, and I just like make a conduit, and it goes.
I'm assuming there was a big boom, but Discord cut out your voice with excitement.
Yeah, and just.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, go ahead and make me a performance check, please.
Oh, I thought you would never ask, and that is charisma, so I get
Shouldn't you say
advantage,
light,
baby.
man?
You do.
Okay, I got a nat 20.
Nat 20.
Hey.
Yeah. It arcs not only off you, but you see it like spark out, and the entire area is just cast into darkness up until this point, you hadn't noticed that the sun had been going down, but the entire the entire showground had been lit up by these, basically like crystal lamps set on posts all around. So as you do your big reveal, it not only arcs off yourself, but also onto all of the lamps and the voice amplifier. And Elias leans over to you and goes, "That was most impressive. But please, maybe next time a little warning. It will take a few moments for our arcanists to bring this all back online." I sort of
I apologize, but the best in show must go on.
So
And
immediately you see that there are a few of the like high-vis halflings have immediately run out and started to like try and make repairs to the various like network of lighting posts around the place. One of them stands up and just has a bit more of a sort of senior air to them and just holds up 8 fingers to the front of the stage, 4 on each hand. Like, oh, it would take about 8 minutes or so. Okay, no problem. Kallus, you've got 8 minutes before the lights come back on. What are you doing?
Well, I'm still invisible.
You are still invisible, yes.
I'm pretty sure it. Based on the fact that it's an animal, I'm pretty sure it can smell me, can't it? Or I would be smart enough to figure this out. I'm assuming.
Let's have a quick, shall we? Go ahead and make me a stealth check, please. I'd say with advantage because you're invisible.
That is 15.
None of the animals have responded to your presence in there. You are quietly confident that not only are you invisible, but they're also kind of... As you look around, you can see that they are looking out of their cages, but they appear to be like looking out through the tent flap that you came in through. And it's at this point you notice that there is a strong smell of cheese coming from Nacho, and that seems to be carrying their attention. Yeah.
The biggest one that's guarding the
big one that's guarding the clutch of
eggs
eggs is more preoccupied with the nest than anything else. They've had their cheese scraps off the floor, but they are now solely focused on this nest.
Okay. And remind me, how is it like tied down or secured, or it's not in an
The animal
actual
itself
cage,
the animal itself is in a cage, so it's like a big 7-foot
it's in a big
cubed
cage.
metal cage. It's just got straight vertical bars. There is a swing door on the front that's just secured with a sliding bolt.
Okay. I'm going to command Nacho to come into the tent.
Yep.
I'm going to try and remove the bolt and open the door in a way that there is a straight path from the creature, the big creature, and Nacho. And sort of step out of the way to see if it will take the bait, if you will.
I'm just going to roll a dice to see how... We're basically rolling for the taste of delicious cheese skeleton versus maternal instinct.
Yep. I'm more interested to see if this will work.
You unslide the bolt. The door swings open. Bird looks over and then looks back to its nest. It appears to be more occupied with the nest than it is with anything else.
Damn. I need to find something. I have nothing else to distract it. Okay, I'm gonna just try and see if I can. I have to break him with a bit. Can I fit in between the bars, or could I fit an egg through said bars?
We've opened the door.
I know, yeah, but how wide are the bars? Are they?
The
Because obviously it's
bars,
got a cage, a big
yeah,
creature, but it doesn't. You know.
the bars themselves are quite close together. You can see that they are. They've basically been designed to be wide enough for everyone to see in and see what's going on, but they've been consciously designed to be narrow enough to prevent the hatchlings from getting out through the bars.
Okay.
So if you're looking at it, sizing it up, you probably couldn't fit an egg through the bars.
Nah. Damn. It is. It is in no way interested of leaving this cage, is it?
It
go for
seems
the cheese.
wholly occupied with tending to the nest.
Very well.
It rolled very high on its go after cheese skeleton
Yeah.
check.
How much would I expect this thing to weigh?
You
Rough guess.
well, you saw a halfling holding an infant one on its arm with no issues, and this thing is probably about twice as large, so maybe 4 times the weight. Given you run the numbers in your head, you reckon you could probably easily lift this creature.
Oh, sweet. I will cast. I'll drop my invisibility and cast levitate on it.
So you're casting levitate on the Pteranodon.
The Mama thing. Yeah, the thing that I can't pronounce the name of.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So there is a brief moment where it sort of turns to you in a sort of defensive position over the nest, and then it's just kind of floating. You can see that the wings are trying to move to work out what to do, but it is just floating towards the top of the cage. Kind of
Okay, I will.
a little bit panicky.
I will move it as far out of my reach as I can and take the eggs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big are these eggs? Are
The eggs
am I able
themselves.
to like them into
Yes.
bag?
Yeah. You could
a
you could
bag?
pocket those easily.
Done.
Yeah.
Very
You
carefully then.
very carefully grab each. So as you go through the nest, you find that there are 8 eggs in total.
Okay. How many did we want again? My memory has failed me. I should have taken notes.
You would remember. I was going to say you're good with numbers. You would remember that Dion
Yeah,
only
my
asked.
character is. I am not.
Kallus would remember that Dion only asked for 6.
Okay, then 6 I will take.
Okay. So you grab your 6 eggs and you just hoisting it out and then locking the cage.
Yes.
So as you do, you can see that the Pteranodon is still sort of frantically flapping against the cage to try and get down towards the nest on there.
As I leave, I'll just very slightly drop it back down to normal as I exit.
That's fine. As you cancel, are you cancelling the spell? To just like
Yeah.
sort of lower them down.
Yeah,
And poof, done.
yeah,
Cool.
it just sort of drops very slowly.
That's fine. As it does, you see that they immediately go over and start tending to the nest again. And just sort of like wraps its wings around in a kind of protective shield over there. Back outside, Elias has come to almost the end of the presentation. The lights are back up. They say, and finally, for the champions' medals, I feel that given their performance, we have no option but to give this year's champions' medals to our honourable friends from the Boromar clan. First of all, to lean over to Daisy and go, I'm sorry, I do not believe I caught your name.
Asshat.
Our silent
Is-
hobgoblin jousting mistress.
Sorry, I've just realised I'd muted myself. I was just saying, I'll go with a straight name. I was going to try and think of something, but yeah. Anyway,
Daisy Druke of the Boromar party. And there's a huge cheer and go, for exceptional precision and unseating an opponent in only 2 strikes on their first time on one of our mighty Triceratops. Big cheer from the crowd. Everyone loving you. Elias pulls out a basically a pendant in the shape of a Triceratops head on a long silver chain and just places it on your neck. And to our 2 competitors who scored today's highest judges' result in the Clawfoot steeplechase, Mick Dagger and Nota Dwarf of House de Civis. And again, huge cheer comes up from you as you're both presented with medallions in the shape of the large sickle-shaped claw the clawfoots bear on each toe. And so Elias brings the presentation to a close, and everyone starts sort of filtering back out. The various carriages, some of them are sort of setting up for the night in their own tents.
Minute.
Yeah.
What about me? What about me?
what about
I was best in show. I was best in show. I was best in show. And I certainly start feeling the alcohol or the oil like fade.
It is starting to fade now. As you do that, you kind of sort of step down from the stage. You see a couple of halfling kids come up to you, and they just present you with like this little bouquet of flowers that they've just picked from around the site. Just go, this is for you. You win Shiniest Metal Man Award.
Oh, well,
Good.
thank you for your organic tribute, little... Oh god, there's not very much of you at all, is there?
They just giggle and run off back to their parents.
And I pick up the bunch of flowers and I'm trying to think about what happened to what is even less of the small halflings, the young halflings that seem to be disappearing before my very eyes. But then nothing's thinking, nothing's
You're
working.
dealing with the early onset of mechanical hangover.
Mm-hmm.
So as you, between yourselves, make your way back to the smash and grab, you can see that Clod is making their way across from the showground. Their arms filled with this big pile of animal furs. And on reaching you, they begin to hand out to you a selection of like size appropriate coats and cloaks, clearly designed to be worn in colder climates. It kind of registers the visible confusion on your faces, given the sort of current temperature of where you are. As he does, he points towards the Ironroot Mountains to the northeast, indicating your next destination. The wintry peaks and the homeland of Clod's people, the reclusive and independent dwarves of the Maror Holds. That brings us to the end of tonight's adventure. My thanks once again to everyone for playing and everyone watching along live on Twitch or catching up on the VOD. We will be back in 2 weeks' time on Sunday the 15th of August to do this all over again. Until then, stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, get your jabs, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night, Dice Roll fans.
Bye bye now.